According to three sources familiar with this matter, FBI agents, as we speak, are searching President Biden's Rehoboth Beach home for classified documents.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the FBI searching Joe Biden's Rehoboth Beach, Delaware home for more classified documents. Now, I'm not really sure how many quote unquote batches this would be if they find something. They found some stuff at the think tank in Penn Station. Then they found some stuff in their garage. Man, they were finding documents every single place. I'm surprised they have not searched the actual glove box of the Corvette, of the infamous Corvette. Search everywhere. Search one of those Royal Dansk cookie tins. It'll be something in there, I'm sure. Now, before I get into it, I got to ask one question. How is a quote-unquote search and a raid really different? If the federales are in your house searching around for classified documents, is that not a raid? Because do you have a choice in the matter of whether they come into your house or not? Before I get into that, let's roll the clip. If you want to see this clip, it'll be in the description. This would be a longer version of what you just saw in the beginning. And I think some questions will be answered and we may have some new questions as a result, but let's go ahead and roll it.
To report to you right now, let's go right to NBC News Chief White House correspondent Kristen Welker live at the White House with some information just coming in to us about a search at one of Biden's residences. Kristen, what do you got?
Mika, that's out.
Yeah, he has two houses, if I'm not mistaken. One in Wilmington and the one in Rehoboth Beach, like the little vacation home and then his regular house.
Absolutely right. According to three sources familiar with this matter, FBI agents, as we speak, are searching President Biden's Rehoboth Beach home for classified documents. This comes, of course, after there have been a discovery of a number of batches of documents at his think.
A number of batches is hilarious. If this was Trump, they would say the exact number. I'm on to how they talk in news media at this point.
White House correspondent Kristen Welker live.
A number of batches of documents at his think tank here in Washington and also at his home in Wilmington, Delaware. Now, we know that the FBI searched his home in Wilmington, Delaware a couple of weeks ago and searched his think tank here in Washington back in mid-November. That was after that initial discovery was made of classified documents by Biden attorneys. Now, it's not clear what specifically they are searching for, how long they will be on the property, but we are told, and this is an important point, Mika, that there is no search warrant, that the White House counsel's office is investigating, and that this was planned. So
no search warrant, it was planned. So back to my original question. Did Biden have a choice on whether or not the federales would come to his house? Now, if he didn't have a choice, how did he actually do that without a search warrant? They say, okay, look, we're coming to the house to search and just let us do it. If you want to fight it, we get a search warrant. Is that how it works? Do you get a courtesy call when they want to raid your house? Oh, excuse me, search your house? Like, has that ever happened? The feds call you like, yo, man, let's go ahead and do this quietly. We won't tell anybody that we're going to be there. They're going to figure out we're going to be there later after, you see the vans or whatnot or whatever pull up. They'll figure out later. It'll leak, but we're not going to say anything right now. We'll just do it quietly. That's a very a sweetheart deal. Does Trump get that same kind of consideration? I don't think so, but let's keep on going.
this is yet another data point in this ongoing issue. President Biden, of course, as we know, we have learned that classified documents were initially found at his think tank here in Washington. That, of course, comes, and the White House points to the fact that classified documents were found in the home of former President Trump at Mar-a-Lago. He, of course, refused to turn them over. So the White House continues to try to make that.
Let's pause right there. They didn't find classified documents. The new documents are already right there. They just went to retrieve them. You see what I'm saying? It's a difference between that and this. See, again, with the speak, the news speak. In Trump's case, they knew the documents are already right there. Trump did not want to hand them over, but they knew where they were. It wasn't a mystery. Now with Biden, they're discovering things that they did not know were there. The FBI are searching his home for documents. The FBI raided Mar-a-Lago to recover documents, and they knew they were right there. They were talking about them before. They say, hey, man, we know the documents are right there. Put a lock on the door. There was already prior conversation. Then they decided, okay, we're going to come take them. That's what happened. Let's be all the way transparent here.
That distinction. And of course, throughout all of this, we have learned that former Vice President Mike Pence also had classified documents in his possession. So this is an ongoing issue. The National Archives has now asked all past presidents and vice presidents to search their properties for classified documents. But this is an ongoing political problem for this White House because there's been this drip, drip, drip of information, Mika and Joe. The timing's significant. It comes, of course, a week before the president's set to deliver his State of the Union address, and sometime after that, we expect him to announce his bid for re-election.
So again, just Kristen, just to underline this, you say the Biden team is fully cooperating and no search warrants involved?
Joe, it's such an important point, and I just want to underscore that. According to a source familiar with the matter, the White House counsel's office is cooperating fully with this search. There was no search warrant that was issued. This was pre-planned, so this was not a surprise search.
How does that really work, though? Like, who gets that kind of courtesy to get a pre-planned search from the FBI? How does it really work? Any other person would have a search warrant and there would be a raid. If the FBI must come search your home, if they don't trust you to search your home for yourself, because what you just said was National Archives says, or they recommend that everybody search their home to see what they have and, search their own home, like meaning ABL. If I had classified documents, I would search my house to see where they were, not to have ABL call the federales and have them come search for me. That's not how that will work. So why is the FBI searching for Joe Biden? He can't search for himself. His lawyers can't search for him. Jill, Hunter, the crackhead, they can't search for him. Why must it be the FBI? And why is it pre-planned? And why is there no search warrant? Very fishy, but I digress.
Something that they've been doing in coordination with the White House counsel's office. And that's really been a theme throughout this developing story. Of course, we first learned about this several weeks ago and 2 months after the Biden legal team initially found that first batch of classified.
After the midterms, what you want to say, 2 months after the midterms, that's very important to understand because they knew this back during the midterms and they didn't say anything for a particular reason, because if that news got out during the midterms, that'd hurt the midterm elections for Democrats across the country. It's so simple. This stuff is kind of ridiculous.
Documents at the think tank here in Washington, but the White House has continued to stress that they are cooperating with the DOJ. And of course, there is now a special counsel investigation that is getting underway this week to look into the president's handling of classified documents. That comes as there's a special counsel investigating former President Trump's handling of classified documents. Just extraordinary that you have the current and past president under investigation by special counsels, Mika and Joe.
Extraordinary.
All right, Kristen Welker, thank you very much. We appreciate the breaking news. Jonathan Lemire, are you hearing anything from the White House or
There's more to this clip, of course. I'll link to it in the description box if you're on IG, link in the bio. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. We learned a little bit from there. What we learned is that the two-tiered system of justice is in full effect. Oh, yes, it is. Oh, yes, oh, yes. If this was anyone else on the right, then there would be a raid. There would be, guns blazing, just like the whole Roger Stone thing. Remember the Roger Stone situation? CNN got called before the FBI went to his house. You could have easily arrested Roger Stone in D.C. right there at a Starbucks or some coffee shop, somewhere on Capitol Hill hanging out. He wasn't hiding. He wasn't on the run. You could have arrested him right there. What you want to do? Make it a movie scene. Bring in CNN cameras so they get there before you get there, police or FBI, whoever that was. You want to pull up on the boat behind his house and all kind of stuff. For some senior citizen that is not even trying to hide, he's not on the run, he's at his house, you pull up at about 4 o'clock in the morning, he's in his underwear. I mean, that whole thing is sending a message, it's political in nature, and this one is the same thing. And I don't really understand why they even need to search his house. What's the point of trying to find these classified documents? I mean, I don't really get it. I think they're trying to throw them away. But they don't want to go overboard and make it seem like they're trying to attack him because they still want to be able to have, give other Democrats and other people that are kind of in their pocket some confidence, like they won't do this to them and it won't be a big embarrassment. But they also want you to know that the right don't have that same kind of luxury. Okay, it's just not really it. I think Mike Pence may have discovered the documents on his own. And if he didn't find them on his own, Maybe the federales go search. I don't really know what's going on, but as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to the federales for letting us know what's really going on with the justice system in America. It's two-tiered. If you're President Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, you could smoke crack, classified documents, whatever you want is fine. But if you do anything close to that on the right, then we got a problem. It's evidence right here in this case. They searched Joe Biden's house voluntarily with no search warrant, but they raided Mar-a-Lago to find documents that they already knew about. They're trying to find new things that they don't know about with Joe Biden going back 20 years when he was maybe even a senator before he became the vice president, okay? And they're trying to recover things they already know about from Trump's term in office just 2, 3, 4 years ago. We know what's going on here. It's pretty evident, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about what's going on here with Joe Biden, the FBI, the so-called raid, and the two-tier justice system? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I'm not surprised, not one bit. I actually expected this to be the case because we know how the U.S. is when it comes to the left and the right politically, especially on Capitol Hill. When you're talking about local politics, that's better. It's not as corrupt and ridiculous, but once you get to the federal level, it's a mess. This is why I don't trust the federal government. We need to just downsize all the way down to almost nothing. That's my viewpoint on it. Have the local governments be local governments. Have state control be the main thing. Bring states' rights back rather than everything being controlled by the federales, because obviously it's corrupt and ridiculous, and I don't see it getting any better anytime soon. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.